Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's video we're going to be reviewing the B&M exclusive Second Doctor and Tardis set. Stay tuned. So welcome back to another Bearded Geek toy review, and hold on, where's the product gone? What's that sound? Can you hear something? Ah, there we are. So the old girl's finally arrived. Cool. Let's get on with the video. So this is the Second Doctor and Tardis set from the final Patrick Troughton story as the Second Doctor, The War Games, which was broadcast in 1969. Standard packaging as usual, saying it's the 5.5 inch scale collector's series, exclusive Doctor Who Tardis set. Okay, so obviously you can see the figure and the Tardis there in packaging. And there we have a photograph of the set at the side, and again at the back there. And obviously what we have is a brief bio of not only the closing story, The War Games from 1969, written by Terrance Dicks and Malcolm Hulke, but also a little brief bio about the Second Doctor as played by Patrick Troughton. Okay, so let's get this round and get this open, and let's have a look at the TARDIS and the figure. So here's the set in its inner packaging, and you probably can't see it yet until I actually remove the TARDIS and the Second Doctor figure. But the background diorama is actually a lovely shot of all the Sidrats, as they were called, which were the prototype TARDISes that were used by the War Chief, who was the main villain in the War Games. So that's a nice little thing that it comes with, kind of like a mini diorama if you want to then use the inner packaging as part of your display. Now, as usual with these sets, the TARDIS is fixed in place with screws just to make sure that it doesn't move around the packaging. The figure isn't. The figure's just like placed in its shell. There's no cable ties or anything there. So, got my faithful screwdriver, not sonic. So let's get the TARDIS out. So there you go, we've released the TARDIS from the packaging, taken out the screws at the bottom. And as I said earlier, you can see the diorama of the scene from the War Games as part of the inner packaging. The thing that I've noticed with this one is, unlike previous releases, the TARDIS doors are just held on with sellotape. Now previously they used a plastic tape which went all the way around and actually threaded through the doors, which sometimes was a little bit difficult to remove. So perhaps that's some feedback that character and B&M have had with regards to this set, and they've reverted to just putting sellotape on there. So let's carefully remove that and have a look at the TARDIS in more detail. So here we have Patrick Troughton's version of the TARDIS as seen in his era. The most obvious thing that you can tell that's striking straight away is the difference in colour. It's a very, very dark blue, which apparently is screen accurate to how it appeared. Obviously the show was filmed in black and white on video and film, but obviously they do have reference photographs that were taken at the time. So, and also one of the other differences is the roof, which is very, very thin, not as stacked as previous things. We'll do a comparison of some of the other TARDIS sets later on in the video. And then the different lantern at the top, the flashing light that the TARDIS had, that's obviously brand new to this sculpt. So let's just turn it around. So again, lovely wash all around, giving it that extra dirty, fine detail. And again, at the rear we have these panels that unfortunately aren't used anymore because with these being budget sets for B&M, retailing at $19.99, they're not like the first classic TARDISes that were released through Forbidden Planet, which had a higher retail price of $34.99 because they were electronic FX TARDISes, and they obviously came with working sounds and flashing lights for the light at the top of the TARDIS. So that's isn't used. There's no speaker behind there, and obviously that panel there doesn't open to insert the batteries. But obviously you don't really have the back of the TARDIS on display. You're going to have it either from the side or from the front. There you go. And there's the other side there. Okay, back to the front. Okay, as with previous TARDISes, the doors do open and they have a locking mechanism. So the first door that opens is the right door. And that clicks into place there. And then you can open the left door very easily, and obviously that's quite doesn't have a locking mechanism, but again you can move that in any particular way. You then obviously click that back into place if you want that door shut, and then down here, as with previous TARDISes, there's a little button in which to release the right door and close the TARDIS. And here's the figure that comes with the set, Patrick Troughton as the Second Doctor, in his final regular appearance in the show from the 10-part epic storyline, The War Games, which is famous for introducing the Time Lords into the show. Obviously, the Doctor called on their help as it was a situation where he felt he couldn't win at all against the villain, the War Chief, who was also a Time Lord. The second time we'd seen another of the Doctor's race. Prior, we'd seen the Meddling Monk during the first Doctor's era, but he was never named as a Time Lord. And we'll do a comparison of the regular Patrick Troughton figure from character. But as you can see, he's looking quite dishevelled. There's a lot of muddy wash on his jacket. He's got a little ripped detail in his trousers there, which is quite a nice little touch. And obviously he's looking quite dishevelled, as he would do by the end of this storyline, which would see him put on trial and then found guilty for interfering in the affairs of the universe and exiled to Earth, and a forced regeneration into the Third Doctor, John Pertwee, which would obviously see the show be relaunched back in 1970 in full colour. So here we've got a comparison of the very first release of the Second Doctor as played by Patrick Troughton, and this was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which was then later released through Forbidden Planet back in, I think, 2009/2010, if I'm correct. So as you can see, that's his standard kind of like uniform or costume, and obviously you see the subtle differences that they've done with this War Games version. A lot more dishevelled, like I say, dirty jacket, rips in the trousers, different colour of a shirt, and obviously slightly same sculpt of the hair and the face, but there seems to be a bit more of a slightly wash there on his hair. The War Games version does not come with any accessories. Obviously this figure that was released as an exclusive came with his recorder, and also was a 2-pack that came with a Tomb style Cyberman. And here's a comparison of some of the other TARDIS sets that have been released. What we have on the left is the Unearthly Child First Doctor TARDIS set. And this is one of the electronic FX versions, like I said earlier in the video. That was released back in 2010 via Forbidden Planet and came with a first Doctor figure. Obviously we've got the second Doctor Tardis in the middle, and obviously we have on the right the first third Doctor Tardis set that was released via B&M as an exclusive back in 2018, and that came with a Time Monster style third Doctor in the red jacket, and as you see, that's a slightly different wash. One of the things to notice on this is this has a thicker base, which is similar to this, because obviously it did house the electronics with the button that then operates the FX and the light and gives you the TARDIS sound of it landing and taking off. And obviously that's something that, you know, is no longer required. So more recent TARDIS releases that we've had another third Doctor style TARDIS release, and we've also had a fourth Doctor Shada release and a fifth Doctor Caves of Androzani TARDIS set, and they now have a slightly smaller base because obviously there's no need for electronics in there. So there's just a comparison of some of the other TARDIS sets that have been released. And there we have it. There's the second Doctor and TARDIS set from the War Games. Like I said, it's a B&M exclusive. You can find it in your local B&M stores for $19.99. And it really is a good little addition to your Doctor Who collection. So that's all for today's video. Hope you liked it. Please leave us a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, which will let you know whenever a new video is coming up. The next video I'm planning to do is one on the Star Wars Retro Collection, so stay tuned. And in the meantime, take care and see you soon. Hello and welcome to today's